Andy Cohen is officially clapping back, and this time it's messy, sarcastic, and very on brand for him. What started as a New Year's Eve joke has now turned into a full-blown public back and forth that everyone is talking about. It all goes back to Andy Cohen's appearance on CNN's New Year's Eve Live with Anderson Cooper. As usual, Andy was not holding back. He was drinking, joking, and saying whatever came to his mind. And while some viewers found it entertaining, others felt it crossed a line, especially when Andy took aim at former New York City Mayor Eric Adams. During the live broadcast, Andy openly criticized Eric Adams' time in office. He made sarcastic comments, joked about the city being a mess, and even threw in remarks about the rat problem in New York. It was the kind of unfiltered commentary Andy Cohen is known for, but this time it didn't sit well with everyone. Anderson Cooper, sitting right next to him, looked visibly uncomfortable. You could hear it in his voice. You could see it in the way he tried to move the conversation along. Anderson is a serious journalist. He's polished, professional, and very aware that he's on a major news network. Andy, on the other hand, comes from reality TV. He thrives on chaos, shade, and saying the quiet part out loud. That contrast became impossible to ignore. Soon after the broadcast, Eric Adams responded, and he did not hold back either. The former mayor publicly slammed Andy Cohen, calling his comments a sloppy, drunken rant. He even went as far as suggesting that Andy needed help for alleged alcohol issues. That comment alone took the situation from playful shade to something much more personal. Naturally, people picked sides immediately. Some felt Eric Adams crossed a line by making comments about Andy's drinking. Others believed Andy brought it on himself by going too far on live television. But Andy Cohen wasn't about to stay silent. Just days later, Andy was honored in Manhattan with something that perfectly matched his sense of humor. A trash bin was officially named after him. Yes, a real trash bin. The location was near where Watch What Happens Live has been filmed for nearly 17 years. The tribute included a ribbon-cutting ceremony, a symbolic key to the neighborhood, and even Andy Cohen's corner painted on the bin. Instead of being offended, Andy leaned all the way into it. During the unveiling, he jokingly tossed a banana peel into the trash bin and laughed it off. He fully embraced the King of Trash TV title that critics love to throw at him. But the timing of this event couldn't have been more interesting, because the feud with Eric Adams was still very fresh. When reporters asked Andy about Eric Adams' comments, Andy didn't apologize. He didn't backtrack. Instead, he smirked and said he was just having fun. Then he dropped the line that made headlines everywhere. Where was the lie? That one sentence said everything. Andy made it clear that while he was joking, he stood by what he said. He doubled down on his criticism of the former mayor's leadership and even added more shade by saying he loves picking up the trash, fully playing into the symbolism of the moment. He also made another dig, sarcastically saying that Eric Adams may have at least dented the rat population. It was classic Andy Cohen humor, sharp, sarcastic, and unapologetic. But while Andy seemed amused, many people noticed something else during the original New Year's Eve broadcast: Anderson Cooper's discomfort. Fans started speculating that there could be tension between Andy and Anderson behind the scenes. They've been friends for years, but their styles couldn't be more different. Anderson is careful with his words. Andy is reckless with them. When you add alcohol into the mix, it becomes a risky combination, especially on live television. Some believe Anderson was frustrated because he was being dragged into controversy just by sitting next to Andy. Guilt by association. Others think Anderson knows exactly who Andy is and accepts it, even if it makes him cringe in the moment. Still, the awkwardness was hard to ignore. The situation got even louder online, with social media exploding over Eric Adams telling Andy to consider Alcoholics Anonymous. Many felt that comment was unnecessary and crossed a personal boundary. Others felt Andy should have expected backlash after going on a drunken rant about a public official. Andy, however, seemed unbothered. At the trash bin event, he also casually addressed other rumors floating around about him. He joked about getting a very small amount of Botox. He acknowledged his weight loss, and he even shared that his mom loved his New Year's Eve appearance. It was very clear that Andy wasn't losing sleep over any of this. So the big question now is simple. Does Andy Cohen owe anyone an apology? Some people think yes. They believe he embarrassed CNN, put Anderson, Cooper in an uncomfortable position, and crossed a line by attacking a former mayor while drinking on live TV. Others think Andy did exactly what people expect from him and that Eric Adams' response was far more inappropriate. Andy himself seems to think he has nothing to apologize for. From his point of view, he was being honest, funny, and outspoken, the same traits that made him famous in the first place. And instead of backing down, he leaned into the chaos, turning criticism into comedy and controversy into content. At the end of the day, this situation perfectly sums up Andy Cohen. Love him or hate him, he knows how to stay in the spotlight,